Alrighty. Hey everybody, Troa here. I'm going to go ahead and do another update video. This is the one I've been promising for a while, and it's a look at my mining ship in a little more detail, what I have done at the moment. Right now, it's not done, obviously, because that's how space engineers work. Nothing's done, ever. But that's why I like it. So, this is the ship I've been working on for a while. A little bit of a recap. This is probably about the 5th version of this ship. All total, I've worked on a few different variations of it, all but one of them in survival, and one point or another. This is the second world that I've made, and I've made a few and torn down a few over the duration of this. And with every update, when one thing became obsolete, then I had to switch everything up and everything else like that. And when large ship grinders came, I mean not large ship grinders, but when large drills came out, I wet myself. It was amazing. Yeah, it was great. So with that, I of course had to rebuild it, and I came up with this. And I figured instead of retrofitting an existing one, I'll tear down what I got and make a new one from the ground up. As a ship, as a usable ship, whereas before, the first one was like a test bed, and the second one was just a kind of an expansion on the idea in a different world. And then the third one was one that I was making for a contest that I was late on, which kind of pissed me off. But so that one never actually got submitted. I'll have to show it because it's a really cool ship. But that one I made in creative. And then the fourth one was one in this world that was prior to the one I'm standing on. And that one was another kind of test bed to see how cheaply I could make one. And you could make one pretty cheap if you don't mind sacrificing, flyability or looks or anything really. So you can make one on the cheap. It just looks like crap. And so I decided, well, at that point, large drills came out on the scene, and I was like, yes, finally, I can finally build this the way I want it. So I did, and this is the beginnings of it. So without further ado, this is my ship. Oh, wrong button. There we go, anticlimactic as hell. So, alright, so this is my latest iteration of my Planet Cracker, which is AI-35A Planet Cracker. So my designations for AI are Adamant Industries. 35 is the 3 as the class, so it's small, medium, or large, 1, 2, or 3. 3 being a large class, 5 being the version number, and then this particular ship, A, B, or C, etc., being its current iteration. So this is the first version of this particular ship, and it's the 5th version, so this design. And yeah, that's the name of the ship. So without further ado, let's start at the front. This right here is the bridge, obviously, it's in the front, and where I connect it up, which I'll show you why that's a thing. I have little lights in the front that kill frame rates. I have a little antenna array down here, a little sub layer right there. I like that. My little antenna, some more engines, refineries, port side connector, starboard on the other side, and got another little viewing area here, and I got my lower area down there, and I got my cargo shipment area back here. So let's go ahead and get into where I normally enter because I hate doors. And let's go to the very back and start our way forward. So from the back, I have my little hangar area, and I like to think of these as like little membranes where ships could pass, but oxygen wouldn't flow unless, they were off or something like that. I like having those, and I like having one at the back in case stuff needs to escape for some reason. Oh, hello. Gravity doesn't quite reach. This is a big ship, by the way. And after that, you go over here, and you have the larger engine blocks, which I thought would be a cool place to put these, you can work on them. I like being able to get to them. And then this is the first kind of an auxiliary airlock. I don't really like using these ones, and I don't really like using them at all, to be honest with you. You come to this ship doesn't come to you. So, over here I have a little loading and unloading area for all my little ships, if I want to. Inside, I have one strip of heavy armor to save on resources, and the fact that I hate heavy armor. I really, really dislike it. I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the characteristics of it, and I know how to land my ships without burning my hull. Beyond that fact, though, I turned thruster damage off because it was just pissing me off because merge blocks were not working right. Like, they'd freak out, and something that shouldn't have caused that much damage would have caused a lot of damage, and I turned them off. So, I still follow the rules, if you will. I like to put thrusters where they won't damage anything, but I have it off just because of the weird stuff that would happen in this game, and I'd get huge gouges from thrusters that shouldn't have been working if it had all gone according to plan. But because of this game glitches out sometimes, it's pretty bad. So, anyway, start here. I have a little lower deck there, which I'll show you in a bit. And, actually, no, I'll show you now. But anyway, right here I have the 4 assemblers, 2 on either side, and I have the refineries there, which you can hear when I get closer. 3 on either side, and they've been running constantly. Alright. And got this little catwalk here, which I like. You can see down into the brigs, into the engine rooms, and the shipping and the cargo container rooms, and all that other stuff. And then there's the bridge, which I'll get to in a second. So, on the side here, you have these little engine ports, which also serve as airlocks. And that's where you could dock it up and actually board the ship if you wanted to. But merge blocks, being how violent they are at the moment, that's not really something I can do. They really need to be able to adjust that. But anyway, my rant on merge blocks aside, let's go down here. And this is like my little entertainment center, if you will. This is where the crew would come to relax and kind of hang out. And this ship isn't really a place to live. It's a place to work. So you come to this ship in like a bus kind of thing. And this is the way I designed it. I didn't design it with any quarters or anything like that. This is a place where you go to work. And in here you have, this is a little rec room and everything like that where you can kind of walk about, and maybe, if I had tables, I'd put tables like there, some places you could sit and eat and look out at the stars. I think that'd be pretty cool. And back here you have the engine rooms. So, you can eat your food right next to the, fission reactors. So you go over here, and then you have the 3 reactors, which I don't actually need 3, but it was running close enough to max that I didn't really want to push it. So I added a 3rd one just in case. You go back here, and then you have your storage room. Now from here, you can get in here and do all sorts of things. Excuse me. And you can actually go in, you can work on the engines if you want. You can get access this way, or you can go here and actually mess with the cargo containers themselves. Now, I need to finish a couple of things. Like I said, it's not done, and there's the gravity room right there in the middle, protected on all sides. But yeah, here we go. And we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 large cargo containers, which I have filled up before. So yeah, this produces a lot of material. And then we have that secondary little line down the middle where you can go here and get another lookout. I like windows. So, and ooh, maybe. Yeah, I might be able to switch that to an angle. But anyway, that's a later project. So that's the engine room and the cargo room. And if you go down further, you get to the work center, the shipping area, right? And so from here, you can load and unload various assortments of little cargo containers. So there are 10 to a whack, right? So 10 small cargo containers per cell, merge blocks on either end. And when I built them, I named these ones right here, so I know which ones to disconnect. And yeah. So from here, I can, and I have this conveyor system here. So all I need to do to fill any of these up is place down one of these. Boom. I can access them through the conveyor system, fill them up, and then get rid of it, release it, ship it out. And it's pretty easy to do, pretty simple. I like it. And if you're wondering why there are random conveyor tubes here that lead nowhere, that's why. So you can just grind one down, go out here, weld it right up, and done. You get access that way. So that's the first level. There are 2 levels, obviously, and the second level is accessible down there. But in here, I have like this little hideaway. You go back in here, the engines are actually behind here, and right here is a little cargo container that I can get into, and I have guns and tools and ammunition and everything separated out. So it's separate from the conveyor system, so people could hole up and defend it if they absolutely need to. But like I said, you don't really want to attack this ship, you want to capture it. So the main way of defense is on the ground. You know, you want people shooting inside rather than outside. So that said, you can go down here to the lower deck where I have the beacon itself, a little grate right here, a couple of airlocks so you can get outside and come in from this area. And then you have these little stair system here. Now this comes down to that lower section where you have some computer terminals for the docking process and the shipping process center. And you can release more of these out here that way. And then you have a couple of med bays for, you know, if you need to respawn or anything, you respawn at location. Or if you need to get healed or something, which I should probably go ahead and top off while I'm here. And because I apparently injured myself, see, this is exactly why you have it. So there you go, have that, and you can look out, and this is a cool view. I like this view. I love freaking windows. They did such a good job with them. But anyway, go out here, and you can go back up, and let's go towards the bridge. Now the bridge is actually where I started, so it's the least refined. And of course the loud refineries, excuse them, they don't know manners. So, go over here, I have the little window there, which I kind of like it being elevated. I don't know why, I like that. You have the little double doors because it looked cool. And then you come in here into the bridge. Now over on the sides here I have the little subsystem management stations, you know, and then I have this little elevated area with the captain's chair. And then over here you have a little catwalk so people with guns can shoot people that aren't working. And yeah, it'd be great. So you go over here, and there's a little entrance right there. Again, this is not a military ship, so it's not armored, it's not defended. This is a place to work. People are supposed to be flying in and out of everywhere, so airlocks aren't really a thing. Everybody's wearing a spacesuit when they're working here, because everybody might need to go outside. So, little captain's chair, go in here, and it offers really great visibility here. I really like it, and the low lighting makes it so there's not much of a glare and you can see out pretty easily. And there you go. And so let's go ahead and go up here. I hate doors. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now she's a little banged up because of merge blocks being stupid. And I'm sorry, but I have to repair this or I'll freak out. There we go. Okay, done. Couple more med stations up here for while you're outside working, and there's actually a bit of damage here. There was a second landing gear here, but again, merge blocks being stupid ripped it out, and I haven't got around to fixing it yet. But anyway, here is the little docking chair for when you're doing any mining operations, and then here is the boom. Now the boom arm, this is a concept of mine that was inspired by a YouTuber I saw a long time ago, back when I first started playing, and he had a pretty thick accent, and he was showing us how to make an auto miner. Now, an auto miner, as he said it. So, his basic design, and what inspired the first version of the ship and the four to follow, was a station block with a rotor on it and a boom with drills. That was it. So, after that, I decided, well, I don't like just putting it in one place. I want it to move around. I want to be able to, to get more than one chunk out of it, and not have to disassemble it every time and then move it and all sorts of hassle. And I saw a couple other people who had similar designs, but they all didn't work very well. I mean, in one way or the other, they were always lacking. So, this is my solution to it. But yeah, I'll show you how effective it is here in a second. But here is the boom arm itself. If you saw my Make It Rain video, I only had one row of these before. That's because it took too long to actually empty this thing, so I added a second row. And if I wanted to, I could add these in as cargo containers if I wanted to, but I don't really need to yet, because I'm running at times 10 inventory, so I really don't need a second row. It pulls everything out. And the reason these cargo containers are here is to pull out all of the ore from the drills, which if they explode with ore in them is catastrophic. It's not, oh, I lost a drill, it's, oh, I lost the boom arm. These things, when they go, if they have ore in them, blow up. So, we don't want that. So to get around that, the storage area inside the connectors themselves and these small cargo containers will pull the ore out of here safely, getting them away from the threat. So 2 times gravity. Okay, so over here, if I go down, I can actually walk along this area right here. I kind of want to get a little extra gravity generator so I can walk around onto the other side, which I think would be cool. I have the 3 lines of drills along with these collectors, and I have the gravity set right now to where it pulls down on either side, but they don't cross-contaminate each other. And that way any ore that comes past will get sucked down into this. And then I have a 3rd gravity generator, which is off while I'm unloading, which actually pulls it back, because normally it spits it forward, and I don't want it spitting forward out into space. I want as much of it getting caught as possible, so some of it gets pulled back into the drills, some of it gets launched up and then pulled back by this one and then pulled down, which knocks it into there. So a great bit of care was taken into that. I have a couple of stabilizing engines just so it's a little bit smoother and doesn't freak me out as much. I have this engine right here because when I detach it from the ship with the merge block, it likes to float forward, so I put that one on there to stop that. And I have this cool little line here to show where the blade will be, so I can, work on stuff out here and, actually be able to do anything without worrying about this thing smashing into me at some point. I have these little unloading ports here on the side, so the one on the port side is right here. I can access this, tell it to throw out anything, and access the entire terminal. It's hooked up to the conveyor system. And I have the same thing over here with the starboard side. And yeah, so that's really it. That's the ship in a nutshell. And if I go over to the back, you can see a little bit clearer what's going on there. But that's not why you came to see the ship. You wanted to see what the ship will do. I mean, why? It's a tool, right? So it must be used in some form or fashion. Let me show you. I've already got it up and ready for you. And to be honest, I'm not... Oh yeah. Behold. Why don't I just show you this? If that's any indication at all at how much this thing can produce. So, if that gives you some idea. Oh, and the best part about it, look how smooth it can cut. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And you can kind of see how asteroids are really made in this game. And they work off of a block system, so they're kind of like stations. So you got to think of them like a mass of blocks. Because if you cut them at certain angles, they'll be smooth. Alright? But every now and then, you'll cut it, and it'll get jagged on you. And because I have an odd number of drills as far as the height goes, sometimes it's smooth, most of the time it's smooth, and then sometimes it's pitted, like so. That's just because of the way the asteroid's built and the rotor spacing, which sometimes produces weird results. And this is where the 4th version of this ship was chewing, and then this is where the 5th version of the ship was chewing, after an initial cut to see how it worked. And it worked well. So what I'm planning on doing is making a platform out of an asteroid to make my base on. And if you can kind of tell, it's a lot of ore has passed. It has expired. So we're continuing this, and I'm making the top smooth. I kind of want to have a completely hollowed out asteroid. I could delete the thing if I wanted to, but I kind of like the existence of this being a thing. So let me show you an example. So what I do here is in the front I have a station, which I use as a guide, and then I use a merge block to actually merge the ship, which every time, of course, bangs up the front of it unceremoniously. So I went ahead and already did that because, of course, you know, why not? It takes a little while, but I don't want to show you the docking procedure. I want to show you working. So rather than make this video any longer than it already is, let's go ahead and do it. So I've reconnected this, I've unlocked that, everything should be ready to go. Let's go ahead and hop into the drill itself. You don't need to do this now that rotors are, but it's just a habit. And I like being able to use the gyros that I have on this arm. Just enough to get it moving. And then as soon as I see something, I slow down. There we go. And I nudge it back into place. There we go. A little bit closer. Alright, hopefully that mates up with that guy over there. So we'll see. Anyway, first things first, what we want to do is we want to turn on the grav vacuum, which is that other gravity generator that I had turned off. I want to go ahead and turn on the drills. I want to turn on the rotor, turn off the connectors, which they already are, and then move the gyro strength down to 47%, which I found to be optimal. As far as the speed goes, it helps me control that rotor a little more fine-tuned. And yeah, should be good to go. Gyros on, drills on, rotors on, connectors off. Good. And from here, I just walk out and do something else. I haven't needed to repair these at all since after fine-tuning. And it might be pretty loud right now, but it should be. And that annoying clicking thing that the drills do every now and then, I hate that so much, but yeah, there it goes, drilling away. And I literally can walk away. If it's done and I'm not around, it'll just continue to spin around and around and around and around, and it won't damage itself. And as long as I don't have anything parked in this vicinity with those, you know, my little warning lights here, I don't have to worry about it. It'll just spin forever. Oh yay, another product of merge blocks. There we go. I love merge blocks, but man, they really need to tone that shit down. They really need to tone that shit down. That is irritating. And there's a lot of crashes, which is why I went ahead and docked it first, because it would be just my luck that the one time that I dock it while recording would be the time it would crash. Every now and then when you convert this to a ship, it doesn't think it's a ship. Right now it's a station, but you can't really see because the engines are bugging out right now with the recent patch. But so yeah, see, there you go. The engines are on because it thinks it's a ship, not a station, which it technically is a station right now. And yeah, so sometimes whenever you connect this, the game crashes, so I always save it beforehand, and if my game crashes, my recording goes out, and yeah, bad times. And this one, sometimes when I connect it, the game crashes, so yeah, just depends. Sometimes it's feeling nice, and sometimes it's not. But then we go ahead and move back here. I'll show you that a little bit more here in a second while it's moving, and I just kind of to prove the concept that I can do other stuff while that's going. Here is my little flatbed truck, and I made this kind of out of necessity, and I figured why not, here's an excuse to make a truck. And these little care packages that I made, right, they, when I would lock them onto the wall, but whenever I would merge the ship, it would decide to just careen them out and destroy everything. And so these things basically just disappeared. They were just gone, so I had to make something to hold them down to, and then be able to move them all out of the ship so I could have them ready to go and send them out without having to worry about them in the meantime, you know, so I didn't have to like move out 6 of them at a time. I could just move out one thing. And then I have my little buggy ship over here, which I was the first prototype version to go ahead and use those little care packages and, you know, send them off. And then I have the updated version of it, which I like a lot more. It looks cooler. This has got the forklift front end on it, so I can move stuff around. It's got connectors, and it's got a collector for storage, because they have their internal storage, so I don't have to actually have storage in here. and I can unload it and load it very easily while taking up a little bit of room. And then, where are you? I saw you somewhere. There you are. There's my sling blade, or if you want to get exactly, the AI12B sling blade, because the B designates this as the second version of it. Why? Because it was docked in there while I merged it, and I forgot to check on them right after merging to see if they had dislodged. And the only thing left of this thing were the drills, not the drills, but were the grinders and the welders, and like this back turtle shell that I built. So that was it. Everything else was gone, so I had to rebuild it. And a few engines. There were a few engines left, but everything else had just disintegrated. So yeah, that's where the B designation comes in. And yeah, so those are those little guys that I use. And then these things right here, like I said, I fill up. The game is going to be lagging like crazy, by the way, because I'm mining a million things. So sorry, but that's what happens with excellence. So yeah, and then I have these little things here, and just kind of as a proof, right over here is where I've been storing them in the meantime. I'll get back to you in a second. Don't you go nowhere. Alright, so here's my little dry dock and the little disassembly plant for ships that I capture. But over here are where I'm storing them. Now these ones are full. So if I go in here, these ones right here, the charcoal. If I go in here, everything here, oh yeah, that's right. It's because it's connected to the station. But every single one of these is full of 422,000 kilograms of stone. Same with that one, same with that one. The way I designate it is if it's a byproduct, I put the charcoal thing on the back here, and that's when I say, okay, this is now charcoal, and then when I fill it up on the other end, I color the other end to go ahead and make it like that. If it's something, because my colors are slowly becoming kind of like a charcoal leather kind of color, and the gold color here, if it's valuables, I put the gold in here. And I start it and I end it if it's full. So all of these are filled out with precious metals. No stone is in any of these. So it's not really one particular type, but all of these are full. And they are completely full of ore in some form or fashion. So yeah, there is a lot of material in there. And if you saw my crash videos, you know what happens if you run into them. And there's the little piggy bank over there where I made a cut for Alicia to go ahead and get into her asteroid. And yeah, so there's that, and there's my little forklift for these because the little guy couldn't handle it way too much. Went all over the place. It was really funny because I had to build that thing out of haste to do that. But let's go ahead and check on the ship so you can see in real time what's going on now that there's a better angle to look at. I love that. I love it. Alright, and it's smooth, it's good. But yeah. And hopefully, if you're wondering why I'm not cutting with the whole drill, it's because I want this to line up with this guy. Which it might. I'm not entirely sure if it will. I think I might be one off, but we'll see. I don't want to overshoot it because then I have to, chew the whole thing on the other side. And I don't really want to do that. So I'm doing one block at a time until I get it mated right up. So right now this is only a one block increment from the last cut I did. Last merge block was right here. I moved it up one, and now we're attempting to get the other one. But it looks like it'll do well. It looks about like 2. Like 1.5 because of the spacing of the rotor. So I think we're good when it cuts through. The light on the helmet sucks so much in an asteroid. You can't really see it right now. You probably can't hear me very well either because of all the noise, but right now the gravity, let me show you the gravity field. Right now it's pushing down on me because I'm on this side of the drill, and it's also pulling back on me because of that other gravity field there, which would pull anything into here if it gets past. Like that guy right there, if you just saw it. And so most of it's going back into the drills, which then gets collected. So there really isn't a lot of waste, even though I'm on an open area here. Like every now and then one will escape, and if I set the gravity too much, just all of it will fly back, so there are some escapees. But for the most part, I mean, what, four rocks right there? There's probably another over there, so like we'll just say for math's sake, about 12 of these little guys got away in that setting. Yeah, most of them get pulled back into the drills where they're harvested. So the efficiency of this thing is actually pretty high. It doesn't produce a lot of particulate like it used to. Like, oh man, the first version of this thing just spewed rock everywhere. And to be honest, there's nothing I need here. I'm just cutting this to cut it. Like, I have more resources than I'll ever need. Once you build this thing, the efficiency is just insane. So, yeah, that's doing its thing. Yeah. Alright guys, well that said, I think we're pretty much done here. You're seeing it working. Everything is in order. And I went ahead and gave you a full tour. So consider this an update version. If you saw the last one, where I kinda had like a little bit of a build as I was working on it. But yeah, and then the crash videos, but I've added some stuff since then, and I've of course been mining a lot. But yeah, this is the ship. This is what I've been working on. And I love it. This has been a prevailing design of mine for a long time. And it's funny because I have a buddy, a good friend of mine actually, his name's Overkill, you might remember him from some of my old videos, but good guy, really, yeah. Anyway, he and I have differences in the way our computers perform. He's more in multiplayer, so he has his server going. And basically, he has problems with rotors because of the multiplayer bugs and everything like that. So all of his miners are gravity based, right? And his auto miners are gravity based, whereas I have problems with gravity. I don't have problems with rotors, so mine work on rotors. It's kind of funny how that kind of worked out. We have, you know, kind of like the Galapagos effect going on right now, where his are one way and mine are another. And yeah, I think it's really kind of funny because he's been developing his and perfecting his, and I've been developing mine and perfecting mine, you know, kind of side by side, but not necessarily at the same time. It's really funny to kind of, when I got back in touch with him after, because, you know, you play Space Engineers for the most part alone, even if you're on multiplayer. And I think it's really cool. I think this is going to line up. I think it's going to line up. I think I'm good. Yeah, I think it will. Oh, now I gotta see. Now I gotta see. Will this line up? I love this part. I love it when it breaks through. I can't quite tell yet. I think so. I think we're good. And don't worry about the sparks. That's not actually damaging anything. It just looks bad. It freaks me out. But if one does explode, I have a redundant system in there, which will deter catastrophic failure. Which happened quite often with the first designs. But yeah, this is my pride and joy. So yeah, if you guys watch this and it inspires your own, send me a link. I want to see what this, if this, you know, I want to see if this inspires any other people. Like, I've been wanting to kind of keep this to myself, but you know, screw it. Screw it. I don't want this to be, you know, the pinnacle. I mean, for me it is. I mean, this thing is awesome. I love it. But if somebody can come up with something better, cool. You know? And I want to be part of it if I can. So if this inspires you and you make an awesome creation, let me know. And send me a link to your creation. I want to see it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like it, let me know. If you want to see more, let me know. If you want me to do something specific, let me know. You know, I don't really know what to do. I'm just kind of making stuff up as I go. That's how this game works. But, you know, if you want to see something, let me know. And, yeah, if you guys liked it, cool, thanks. Thanks for liking. And, you know, so, yeah, be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, all that crap. And, yeah, again, send me videos of your creations, or maybe links or what have you, if you can't encode it, which I can understand because this game is intensive enough, and my computer is hating me right now for trying to record this at the same time. Come on, finish. Yep, I think I lined it up. I'm pretty sure I did. Yep, it is lined up. Smooth as a baby's bottom. Yeah. There we go. It is free. So, I mean, if you stayed this far, congratulations. Guess you'll get to see me start unloading it. So, let's see, drills off, gyros at max, rotor off, and grab vacuum off. There we go, move it. There we go. And then I turn the mag lock on because I generally start to move it after this. Connectors on. And there we go. That easy. One person operation took like what, 12 minutes? And the whole thing is cut, and it would have cut the same amount in the same amount of time had the entire drill been there as well. It takes about the same time every time. And then I have this cool unloading effect. And it won't actually kill you. Just kind of pushes you out of the way. Doesn't even hurt you. It's kind of cool. Yep, fun times. and it looks cool. But yeah, that's my video. Thanks for watching, guys. And like I said, if this inspires you to do anything, let me know. Send me a video, send me a link, send me an invite. I want to see your stuff. It's cool. And if I've inspired you at all, I'm honored and privileged. So, thank you guys. Have a good day, or night, or afternoon tea, whatever you're into.